Bonjour and welcome to all of you comic book geeks, readers and collectors to another weekly review show. I have another top 10 for you this week. I've got 3 deep dives for you, which will be where all the spoilers are. Before my little scroll, there will be no spoilers. I'll just run through what I consider the top 10 best comics this week. Then right at the end, you know what he's time for. No, not clobbering time. No, wait till next week. Then we can do that, can't we? We can start doing that joke, but not yet. How many, on that actually, quickly, just on that subject, how many of you are going to be going to work or, I don't know, talking to your mates and saying, oh, what time is it? And that's just based on the trailer. I know I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. Don't know if I'll have a lot of fun with the film. I'm going to keep an open mind. And yeah, if I don't let you know what I think of it, then you will know what I think of it. Anyway, let's get back to the top 10 of the week. Right at the end, a little bit of my self-indulgent will be cover of the week, where we imagine, or I invite you to imagine, that you only had pocket money for that one comic. Oh my Lord, one comic. I've got to pick one. And what would be the first thing as you run towards the spinner rack or the drugstore shelf or the newsagent shelf? Oh, there was, well, it looked like back in the day, looking through those rose tinted, it looked like there were hundreds of comics. Oh, I can only choose one. No. But you've got to start somewhere. And it's with those glorious covers. The tractor beam of the cover. That's what cover of the week is all about. So we're going to have a little bit of fun right at the end of the video. Before then, like I say, top 10, deep dive on my 3. And they are all issue 1s, and they are all, oh no, they're not. They're all independents. Aha. So yeah, all issue 1s. One artist you would have seen before, but it's just glorious. And before then, it's just going to be the rundown review. So I will endeavour to get on with it. As I've said before, first up, DC. Let's get DC out of the way. Not because I've got anything against them. It's because in the UK, we haven't had a lot of DC. So this is your one and only, as a UK reviewer, I only picked this up. I know there was more DC books in the UK, but I didn't pick none of them up. I might have done, but they're not in my top 10. Ah, that's a good get out, isn't it? Unless you watch my haul video. I think in my haul video I only had one, didn't I? Yeah. That's no excuse, is it? Anyway, this is a beautiful thing. I think by now the word on the street is that this is solid. They're weird and wonderful detective stories set back in the day when Alfred was about and it was just Batman. We ain't fannying around with any of the family members, and which makes this glorious. It makes it a breath of fresh air because we haven't got to deal with anything else other than Batman being brooding and angry and getting his lunch and snacks made by Alfred. Great book. The last issue of this glorious little mini-series. Do yourselves a favour, guys. If you haven't picked this up and you're trade waiting, this will be just glorious, or you're waiting for all 4 issues to come out. I defy anyone. Let me know if you don't enjoy this, and I will really need to know why. If you're a Spider-Man fan and you're a Predator fan and you're an action fan, I'm going to really need you to tell me why you don't like Spider-Man Craven the Hunter, which when you think about it is such an obvious. It's been one tiny criticism is this could be accused of coming across as rushed. Maybe the first 3 issues could have been compressed that way and started the final act. Maybe start the final act halfway through issue 3, and then we might not have had a cliffhanger. And that overall, this is solid, beautiful comic book fun. Artwork superb, everything. Glorious, another glorious Lee Bermejo cover. More Sister Sorrow, and it's her origin. It's her origin story. If you've been picking this up, you haven't picked this one up. Yeah. If you haven't picked these up, bring on the bad guys. I don't know how long you're going to have to trade wait for this lot. I don't know what's going on, really. There were loads of issue 1s. But they've all been good. And the main thing I'm enjoying with these books is that they're not trying to gloss over their villains. They're not trying to say, oh yeah, he's misunderstood. Or in this issue, the Abomination is literally an abomination. I won't say the B word that he is in this issue. He really is. Honestly. It is bring on the bad guys. And they are bar stewards. Yes. And not of the pub pulling pints type. You know what I mean. Next up, more Marvel. Awesome. Look at that cover. To be fair, yeah, I think this is going to be better off. Issue 1 started off hitting the ground running. I don't know how many issues this is going to be. I trust Greg Pak. I love, what's his first name? Kumar's artwork. So I'm loving everything about this comic. But even in and of itself, this was your filler, really. So not the best comic in the world, but the series and the storyline and the premise and the art, I'm still going to be picking it up. I've got no complaints, but it wasn't exactly the best read. And next up, this, in my opinion, is the most underestimated book in the Ultimate line. And I think it's because it's Brian Hill, isn't it? Sorry, I quickly fact check my facts. Brian Hill. Hill is the writer on the cover, yes. And his first name is... Yay! Brian Hill. He gets on with it. And every issue just seems to have a bit of action, maybe give us a bit of intrigue, maybe introduce a new thread to the story. But I've just thoroughly enjoyed all 18 issues. I just can't think of an issue that was a dud. Brian Hill just gets on with it. And he'd done a 12-issue series of Blade before this, before they started bagging them up in the stupid bags and all the rest of it, Marvel. If you're enjoying this, get that series of Blade. That's the only reason I picked this up. I would have run a mile away from this because I don't think this character's been done well for donkey's years. But I bought it on the basis of him writing it, and I'm very, very glad I did. But if you haven't got that, I think it was a 10 or 12 issue Blade series before the Red. Forget the bad stuff. That was also very, very good. Another recommendation. This, like I said in the whole video, pure 2000 AD. That's why I love it. Our main character, she's blood. The gun is thunder. Anyone who read 2000 AD remember anything similar to that? But it's lots of sci-fi fun. And each issue, again, brings you... It's a light read, and sometimes I think we also underestimate how we need some light reads. If you're going to pick up a few books a month, or a week, like if you're like completely insane, you're going to need those light reads in between the heavy. Heavy's all right, but you need stuff like this in the sci-fi dystopian. You need a sci-fi dystopian bounty hunter with red hair, nickname Blood, gun called Thunder, that her dad used to use. Little bit of backstory there. That's enough now. Let's move on and let's have her running after an alien in this issue. Oh, come on. It's always going to be in my top 10. Don't roll your eyes. If you're one of my sexy subscribers, please don't roll your eyes. You know I'm going to, every month this comes out, every week this comes out, you know I'm going to put it in there. And if you're a sexy subscriber, I don't know if, are you getting this? Have you not? Let me know in the comments if there's any one of you out there that have resisted the temptation to buy this book. If you have, then you're just missing out on a treat. And the cliffhanger, like I say, no spoilers, so you haven't got to turn off. The cliffhanger in this, linking it into the Ghost Machine universe, yes. Just yes. Love it. What can we say about this? Part of me does want to put this in. If this wasn't such of a mega hit in general, I would probably be doing a deep dive. No, I know for definite I'll be doing a deep dive on this, but I can't think of anyone watching this that hasn't seen the interior artwork by Ryan Otley. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. Kirkman is keeping it. I don't know. I don't want to use the word dumb, but I kind of do want to say it's dumb fun. But I think that really does do it a disservice. It's a bit like with Blood and Thunder. You can just dial it down a bit, not necessarily just switch off, but with Blood and Thunder. But this one is dialing down a bit more because it's literally Battle Beast wanting to eat people, defeat people. He wants to die, so that's his whole raison d'etre. He wants to just challenge people until they can kill him. So he's working his way up the ladder of death. Right. 3 for the deep dive, guys. No spoilers before my little scrub. So here we go. Oh, this was my... This book, to be fair, is my cuckoo of the week. And that's saying something, bearing in mind the next book I'm going to do. But this was off the scale, batshit crazy. But because it's Jay Lee and the colour, it just hits you like, it literally hits you like a laser light show in the same room as you. You just open the page and then you're off. We're going to do a deep dive on this panel design, what Jay Lee's done with his, I'm just looking at them now, what he's done with his panels. There's just not a straight line. Well, there are straight lines, but they are not. There are no square panels. It is a beautiful thing. It's bonkers. It's cuckoo. It's crazy, and it's in my top 3. Love it. Absolutely love it. What if? Do you remember that? What if? You know, your first, when you're trying to work out a story, what if a truck travelled through time collecting people to fight demons wanting to invade the earth? I present to you the big rig. That's why I'm saying, yeah, This Ends Tonight had heavy competition for the cuckoo. But because this one, and by the way, there is lots of content in these books, which I must just comment on. For $4.99 on that. This was $6.99, which is a bit more on the Marvel end of pricing. But nevertheless, you get a lot of gorgeous artwork. And it does, to be fair, it crams a lot more in there than it does in This Ends Tonight. But nevertheless, I still think you get a lot of bang for your buck. If that makes sense. Because This Ends Tonight for $4.99, it's a lot of pages, but it's kind of spread out. Whereas this is dense in the artwork style. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And yeah, it's in my top 3. We're going to have a deep dive. The Big Rig Fighting the Halls of Hell. Book of the Week. Does anyone remember Joe Madureira? Does anyone remember Battle Chasers? Right. That art style is the creator of this, Ludo Lullaby. I want to start singing the Kinks. Ludo Lullaby. La 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 lo. No. No more singing. This is my book of the week. Writer, artist, colorist, letterer. Yes. So it's a singular vision. And it's a glorious... I don't know whether this is on future Earth or an alien planet. But it's about this guy on the cover maybe being the saviour of a downtrodden planet. And there's big tech in it. It's all about the downtrodden populace being overseen by mechanical cyborgs, creatures. Yes. And the art style reminded me of that early Madureira stuff. And the heroine of the story obviously reminded me of, what was her name? No. We're not that immature, are we? No, we're not. But I'm sure her name was Big something. Was it Big Red? What was her name? I don't even know what her superpowers were. Do you remember in Battle Chasers? Anyway, I'm over it. I grew up. Don't know about you, but I am now a more mature adult. So we don't go there. We don't just talk about attributes. We move on to the book of the week and the deep dive on my top 3. I know it doesn't rhyme anymore, does it? I used to do a deep dive on the top 5, but it was becoming a little bit repetitive. Hence, 3 number ones, deep dive on my number. Yeah. What rhymes with dive? Dive deep on my 3 to keep? Anyway, before I start rambling anymore and you start falling asleep, can I humbly ask you to join me after my little homemade scroll for a deep dive on Ghost Pepper, Big Rig, and This Ends Tonight, and hopefully this video will end tonight. Thank you. Okay, gang. Right, I've had time. All right, I've had time. So here's a look-see on the top 3. First up, Jay Lee. We don't see his interior artwork often enough. We see plenty of variant covers. That's a glorious cover. I know it's not all singing, all dancing, but there's something about Jay Lee's artwork and the design of this cover that, yeah, is provocative. And the interior art also is provocative. It starts with a Las Vegas stripper and a lasso around a girl's upper torso. And from there, we have machine guns. We have the two characters we don't know anything about yet getting involved. They're supposed to be sisters, but we're being told in the meanwhile via the word balloons that no, they're not really sisters. One's adopted, and we've got all these people after us with all these guns. Get in the car. Here's a gun. Get in the car. Break his neck. This ends tonight. And that basically is the setup for this issue. And it is absolutely bonkers, but I loved it. Look at what Jay Lee has done with the panels. Like I said in the introduction, look at what he's done with the panels. There is not a moment where he doesn't want to show off her hold up tights. Yeah, brains going splat. She's using the spikes that puncture tyres to literally decapitate men. And look, here we got a bloke on a motorbike now. Look, but that's a story for later. Is it? Most of it's for later because not a lot is explained here in this first issue. But I don't know why I do know why I thoroughly enjoyed it, because it romped along at such a pace. It is unbelievable. Every one of these balloons, in conjunction with the imagery, moved this story along. Here's her hold ups again. Look at this head, tops of heads sliding off heads. my arm. It's absolutely over the top, ridiculous stuff, but embraces it from the look at this. I wish there weren't that big white line down there, but nevertheless, look at the man's beautiful artwork. This is part of the backstory of the battle since the beginning of time. That is the setup of this. Basically, here we go. Two children of second generation being, to cement the piece, being swapped. And that's all. To be fair, that's all you really learn in this issue. More hold-ups and knickers this time. So that's as the story progresses. So we've been teased with the hold-ups, but now we know the colour of her knickers. So that's good. I think in issue 2, I've seen previews of her bra. I'm only joking. Oh, come on. We all know. We all know we love this stuff. Look. Gack. Look, thuck. Gack. And that's all I can show you. Like I say, there is not a proper panel in any of this comic. So stylistically, alongside the colouring, it hits you hard. And I mean that. It hits you hard. This gets a little bit kind of, I was going to say meta, but it's not really meta. It's a little bit psychedelic, if anything. Whether it's, are we in this universe? She's one, is this happening? Is this the real reality, or is this an unreal reality? Yeah, it's got it all. It's got, just like Stacey's mum, this comic has got it all going on, right? And it is a wonderful thing. More nice angular panels. And that's all I have to say about that. The colouring, beautiful. June Chong. Jay Lee's artwork, we don't see enough of it unless it's on a cover. Thoroughly, as you can tell, enjoyed that. And next up, another number 1 that I'd also thoroughly enjoyed. I didn't know what to expect with this, but oh my word. So demon hordes plague Europe as hell invades in the Dark Ages. So we're going back in time. Here we go. The Six Petals is a secret sect of the Knights Templar. And they're in need of a secret holy weapon. Right. Okay. So here we go. We're off and running. Here's a crow. Here's 2 crows fighting over an eye to eat. And here's a mum trying to save her 2 girls. And then it all kicks off from there. We're introduced to all the devils and the priests that you would... I don't know why they've chosen black, white and grey tone. I don't know why. I'd love to know why. If any of you know, let me know in the comments. But nevertheless, this artwork is sumptuous. Nathan Gooden's artwork on this is absolutely sumptuous. It's just beautiful. Look at these, but you know, compared to Jay Lee, which is all in your face and whoosh and bang, crack, wallop. This story, while it's evolving, isn't as much in your face, and we need these character notes. We need to see these priests in the basement hiding from these demons, and we need to see the demons. Look at the makeup of that page. Look at the setup. It's great. It breaks the boundaries. We're given 9-panel setup, which is always glorious. But when you suck us in with the 9 panels, you can do that. You can do that. You can have an impact, and then we're back again. Very, very nicely paced, and then yeah, the truck turns up. And look, the crow's going caw, caw, and I'm going cuckoo, cuckoo. But I do love it for that. I do love it. He's one of the Knights Templar of the 6 pillars, whatever they're called. Here's all the demons. And this is your first issue. Here we go. He hath become the big rigger. What he does say, oh, the trucker, deliverer of vengeance. Come on. That is as mad. That is as mad as a bag of angry frogs, guys. Look, here we go. One of the demons is, right, we're going to suck you out. We're going to swallow you whole. No, you're not. There goes the rig. Look, foom. Oh, copyright, isn't it? Copyright infringement. Now we're introduced to this lady demon who's kind of got her eye now. She's got her eye on the big rig, on the big rigger, on the big trucker. Here's our other characters, a Viking we don't know about. Do we know about her yet? No, we don't. We're introduced to her. The only character out of these 3, these are our 3 main protagonists. We get her backstory from her Viking past, a little witch, which is also, look at this beautiful. Is that not beautiful artwork? Look at this stuff. Oh, full 10 out of 10, like 100% marks for this guy. Absolutely beautiful. But that is your setup. We've got our 3 characters. We've got our 3 main protagonists, one of which we learn her background. We don't learn the trucker's back. Well, we know he's Knights Templar. You know, this is probably going to be, oh, I don't know what it's going to be. But what an introduction. Here we go. And then we're in this, we're learning about her, our Viking priestess's origin. We're learning about what she says to our trucker is her origin, and then what her mate tells the trucker is the origin. We're saving a wolf here as well. That's obviously going to have ramifications, isn't it? We know that. But it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Action aplenty. The pacing of this comic, top notch. Absolutely top notch. All of my 3 books this week, guys, could have been book of the week. Any one of them. But just picked it at the post because my personal favourite starts with a singular creation. So Ludo Lulabi, apart from the colouring, he has done everything. And that always intrigues me. A singular vision always intrigues me. And then we get the tech. And I love it. Now we're in a sci-fi world, but we're at the ground level. We're at a ground level of like some fake priest telling the story and looking for donations. Look, and these two characters we're following through the story, they leave this fake story. But what his fake story does is give us history of this planet, which is either Earth in the far-flung future or an alien planet. And then we've got this. And doesn't this art style remind you of Madureira? Joe Madureira, when he started Battle Chasers. It really does. This is that cross, that kind of Western comic book style cross with manga, which I always find intriguing. So here's our two characters leading us into one of our main characters. I mean, this is the ghost pepper. She's cooking a ghost pepper, a dash of ghost pepper essence. So, and this is all the tech. Now we realise how small everything is. We don't learn anything about this, but what we do learn is that this world is under the control of tech. So, you know, all these characters in between, but what we learn is this machine drops off 3 of these whatever they're called, fintechs, whatever they are, that Target acquired. Look, these 3 like police cyborgs, these are cyborgs, we learn in the story. And we think they're after old Ghost Pepper, like our girls, you know, chopping up a bit of food for everyone, but it's this bloke eating a bowl of noodles. Secret ingredient noodles. And we're thinking it's her in trouble, but it's not. And then we've got this guy with another little piece of tech on his shoulder, and this is in the red bubble, which is that's his voice we're hearing. This is right up my alley. This kind of storytelling, it is right up my alley. Loads of action, quirky characters. We don't quite know where we are, but it moves along at a cracking pace. And look at the I mean, the colouring, the artwork, lettering, and everything else is beautiful. And this is our mysterious guy called Ash. That is a beautiful thing. Absolutely beautiful thing. And from the back of the store, from the back of this comic, apparently our mate Ludo Lulabi has been a game designer, and he did do something on the Battle Chasers game and the comic. So it's no wonder that he's produced a comic like this, but all of this is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And like I say, it really is my cup of tea. This kind of sci-fi, almost dystopian, almost, but just I suppose it is. To be fair, it is dystopian. But what do we do about the cover of the week? That's not exactly. It is my book of the week, guys, undoubtedly. But does that not pop off of the shelf into your eyes? Just that light blue, to be fair, but with Jay Lee's I think we can underestimate how an image like this is designed. I think we can underestimate it. Even the chair looking like a flower that's budding, even the whole design element of that we can underestimate. So that's why I love that. That has got a big truck with a skull on the front and demons. Enough said. Talking of demons, we've got Abominations by Lee Bermejo, and every single one of these covers is going to be in the running for cover of the week. But I just love Lee Bermejo's work. Look at this. Spider-Man, Craven, Predators. Oosh. Yes. A little bit more sombre is a dead and decaying Galactus with old Silver Surfer having a good old giggle. Going to visit him, like saying, "Oh, how are you, mate?" Made me laugh anyway. An unknown assailant with his foot on Black Panther's neck. Very, very dramatic. The hero of our story shooting tentacled aliens with a massive gun. That's always going to work for me. Battle Beast, just why not? He's gorgeous. He can do a blood splatter, that boy. So we've got our hero floating in space, can shoot like amongst the blood splatter. And then obviously I did hesitate with this only because it's another Brian Hitch. Absolutely stunning. He just can't do smaller bloke, and that's why I love him. That's why I love him. Can't do small. But this is the bit you would have seen, and it matches the story, and I love this book so much. But we're talking about cover of the week. Tentacled aliens, he's good. Floating in space isn't as good. That is a bit static. So that's a bit static as much as I loved it. That's just Abomination going grrr. Ghost Pepper is book of the week, but it's not getting cover of the week, guys. It's going to be out of Blood and Thunder shooting tentacled aliens. The rig that isn't exactly the most in-your-face cover, even though it's an in-your-face comic. That just for the colouring. Out of these three guys and the design work on that. But I know it wasn't even in my, was it in my top 10? Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was in my top 10. So I'm going to exclude that, even though it's a beautiful design. But for me, it's out of these two to attract me to a comic like a tractor beam. A female bounty hunter with a big gun shooting a tentacled alien, and it's all kicking off. Or I think what just nips it in the bud for this cover is they do too much with the title and they shrink too much of the image. So for that reason, this bad boy gets my cover of the week vote, because I think for me, in any era, whether I was a kid with pocket money for one comic or now, Spider-Man, Craven and Predators are going to do it. They're going to do it for me, and they're all having a ruck. So let me know if you agree or disagree. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you follow me this far. Thank you if you're one of my sexy subscribers. And until next time, I'm going to bid you all adios.